Desiree, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your time and appreciate what you're working on. So thanks for coming on. Yeah. And why don't you give us just a little bit about your background, what you're doing, maybe your day job or what you're doing. And I know you and your husband, Andre, are both doing our Mentoring Pro program together. But just tell us a little bit about who Desiree is and Andre. And yeah, let's start there.
Okay. So a little bit about myself is, and I guess you could say my 9 to 5, I'm an operations director for a nonprofit organization that helps minority entrepreneurs to launch, innovate, and grow their businesses. So that's my 9 to 5. And then I don't have much real estate background. So this is super encouraging to anyone out there that's, hey, I don't know anything about real estate, but I want to get into it. My husband and I personally have just decided that we wanted to change and create generational wealth. And one of the ways that really stuck out to us was through real estate. And as we came across your program and you and Jason's program, that's a little bit about me. My husband and I, we also have, I guess you could say what some people say, side hustles. We have some additional businesses, but really our focus was to get into real estate and make this thing happen. So I'm just going to say it. I am a real estate investor as well.
You are. You are a real estate investor. And we just came off of a weekend where we got all of our pro members together in an in-person. We spent a day and a half. We went out and toured properties. We talked numbers. You got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? We went to see some really ugly properties, and we also saw some pretty decent and in between, everything in between. And so I really appreciate you being a part of that. But something that really came up this weekend, which I was really impressed with the level and the depth of participation, but then also just this generational wealth. That seemed to be a common theme through most of the people in our program, is that really they're thinking about, and I was just so touched by that most of our students are thinking about not just making money today, but what does this mean for generations to come? And you actually had your almost teenage. How old is she? 12?
Mia is 10. She's a tall 10-year-old.
Okay, so Mira is 10, but you actually had her sitting in the room for at least half the day. Mira was in the room with us, and I was just I was just so curious. What was her take after sitting there and listening? Because you and Andre were very transparent with why you're there, what you're trying to accomplish. You were putting yourself out there. This is why we're doing this. We're doing this for our family. And so, what was her take on all this?
To give a backdrop of is that she was there because she also had a dance recital the same day. And so it was easier to bring her with me. But in doing so, I had made a choice that I wasn't going to be able to be present for her dance recital. So I had the opportunity to have this conversation with her that, hey, what you're doing is super important. It's hard for me not to be there. But as you just heard, Dad and I are making some tough decisions so that you and your brother can have a better future. So with her being able to even just hear us talk about it, I feel it actually and surprisingly resonated with her, as she could see the passion that Dad and I have about really wanting to learn and to make just some better decisions. And so in the car ride, because I left momentarily to drop her off, she said, so are you and Dad going to have houses? And I'm like, that's one of the goals. I was like, we want to have some rental properties, and we just want to do some things so that you and your brother have a lot of opportunities, but we also want to impact our community by having affordable rentals. So we really got to dive into this conversation. She actually was listening quite a bit. She thought it was pretty cool. And like at the end of the day, she's like, yeah, you worked really hard today. And I was like, yeah, you did too. I was like, today was a good day.
Yeah, that's awesome. It just so drove home the point that many of you were talking about in the room, which is we want to do this to to break the cycle of poverty, poorness, whatever you want to call that, right? My family, same way. I didn't grow up with, we had a wooden spoon, I think. We didn't have the silver spoon. But and now that I have kids, I do take my son, we walk properties, and my son's almost 8. So it's not all clicking for him, but we do walk properties, and we do talk about, is that a house you bought, Dad? Yeah, and here's what I'm doing. So he's starting to understand that this is what we do. But what I thought was important in our conversation we had over the weekend was that you want to educate your kids on how to build wealth, whether it's real estate, maybe it's stocks, bonds, whatever the wealth is. But teaching our kids about wealth building is so important, because I didn't learn that in school or in college. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they teach it in some colleges or in some high schools, but wealth is different than making money.
Absolutely.
You can make money at any job, or even if you're self-employed, you can make money, but building wealth is a whole nother thing.
No, I love the idea that your son is walking properties with you already. I think that's amazing. And it really takes a lot of intentionality, because at first I wasn't even going to have her come, but I was like, you know what, she can sit in the room, she can listen and just be able to hear the whys and just get a better idea of what we're doing, so that when I sit her down and she's going over the books with us, it starts to make even more sense, because we've already decided that as we're going over like the budgets and stuff, that she's going to be present at each step, so that she starts to know, like you said, because it's one thing to make money, but having wealth is knowing how to manage it as well, so that she understands what to do.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's so important. And so what was your takeaway? Where did you feel, because we went over this a lot, where did you feel stuck before the weekend?
Ooh, before this weekend, in all honesty, it was this great ideal that I hadn't yet touched. It wasn't tangible. It's like and it felt so far away, even though we took a step to get into the program. It just felt like far away. So with it being far away, we were in this rut of just talking about it. But I feel like this weekend, there was really this action behind it, even through the conversation, through the connections, through walking through the property. So something that became just this ideal or this vision or this goal became this tangible thing. And seeing, like you said, we saw ugly property, we saw nicer property,
Right.
we saw property getting cleaned out, seeing these actual things take place and walking through it, and then hearing that even some of the things that I was experiencing, other people are experiencing it, made it real. Oh, I can do this. I'm in it. And I also have a team. So I feel like we got out of the ideation stage and now we're in the application stage.
Totally. And I think that's what was the theme I noticed also, whether I call it confidence or just the ability to take action. It seemed like everybody, because there are people in our group that have bought houses, that have rentals, that have flipped. It's not just for people that are brand new, just aspiring. It's also for people who, one of our members has done several deals and in the middle of doing 2 or 3 deals right now. But it's, how do I take my real estate investing career or my real estate investing to the next level, no matter where I'm at? And so it did seem like, though, for everybody in the room, when we started, there was a certain level of confidence and a certain level of uncertainty. And then by the end of that day and a half, it seemed like whoops, I'm getting feedback. Hang on here. I don't know why I did for a second, but it seemed like that level of knowledge, that level of confidence went way up, because we were talking deals and like talking literally through deals. At the end, we had a house. Where's it located? How much are you buying it for? What are we remodeling? And I know that deal went together because that couple came. We literally were doing deals in the room that day, which is super exciting for me. You saw me get super fired up, because that's what I want. I want people to know. And Jason and I both, we want to demystify real estate. When you're on the outside looking in, it's very, how do title companies and banks and how do sellers and buyers, it's almost like magical, mystical. There's a curtain, and so we spend a lot of our time just saying, we're pulling open the curtain. We're pulling open the curtain saying, this is how this works. This is how this works. And then just doing deals. So it was just fun to be in the room and watch the lights come on. And for us, Jason and I, we were just so super encouraged to be able to, when you guys tapped into that generational wealth thing, I think it gave Jason and I confidence, and it gave us this level of like responsibility that I don't think we had before the weekend. Like, we really enjoy flipping ourselves. We really enjoy the rental side, VRBO. We enjoy real estate overall. And we designed this class to help people in that space, but it just took it to another level. It was kind of like, it was the next level for Jason and I. So he and I were super grateful to have spent that time, because it felt like, to us, I just texted him after the thing. I was like, we're changing generational wealth. That's important. That's a big ripple, right? And so it drives me, and I know it drives him to even be even more passionate about helping people acquire real estate, because it's been a life changer for me. it's been a life changer for Jason, and we want that for other people. So just to be able to work with you and your husband Andre and watch your daughter there in the room was just like a blessing, and such a, it was just, it just touched me at a very deep level, my heart and my soul, because I just could see, I want that, right? I want to see people be out of the bondage of debt and out of the bondage of depending on the job that they could get fired from. Jobs are transitory, right? Jobs
Right.
in today's world, you just never know.
Absolutely.
But if you own real estate, especially residential real estate, and you're buying it right, it just gives you that foundation. It gives you that rock. And I'm sure, so that's why you guys got started in the program. You want that security,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, definitely. Want that ownership. I do want to say we definitely appreciate you and Jason being. One thing I could say about the program, about you guys, is that you guys are very transparent and give all the information that you have, because any question that anybody had, you guys answered, which we appreciate. You're giving us the resources, you're giving us the connections, all of that, and tying that together with the community of the group and the accountability that we're giving each other. What I couldn't at first see as being necessarily attainable, like now I'm like, it's attainable. Like we got this. And having conversations, I've had conversations through Messenger over the weekend and today. A few of us went and walked the property
Awesome.
yesterday. And then we're talking about today. It's a game changer. It's a huge, we're so grateful. And I can't wait to just tell you, like, hey, we got our first deal, we got our second deal, third deal, let's go.
Right. And so what are you focused on right now? What's your, in the box, whatever they call that, but what are you and Andre focused on for this first deal? What are you really looking for?
For this first deal, we were really looking for a rental property. The ideal one, obviously, is a 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. And we actually are talking to someone within the group about one. So we saw it, and things are looking like they're lining up. So,
nice.
Probably good news coming soon. So we're super excited.
Nice, very cool. That I'm excited for you, and I really, again, just so inspired by the group is feeding what I love to do, which is help people. And so that's so cool that you guys are walking properties together. You're talking about deals. That's what a community does. That's what a family does. That's what this is all about, is how do we help each other? And that's the thing that I know we shared over the weekend, but I'll reiterate here, which is when you're a real estate investor, it's cooperative, it's collaborative more than it is competitive. It's like, and you saw that in the room this weekend. It was like we were talking lifetime about deals because we want to see other people do deals. And the cool thing is when you're helping each other, all of a sudden somebody's, this isn't a deal that fits my buy box, but I know it fits Desiree's buy box. Hey, Desiree, I've got this deal. You want it. And that's what we're seeing in our community, is really working together as a team of real estate investors, not just individuals, which I know when I got started 20 some plus years ago, that wasn't the case, right? There wasn't the network, there wasn't the education, there wasn't that. And so it's so cool to watch it now today and go, wow, people can actually supercharge. They can go from one deal to 5 or 10 or however many deals they want fairly quickly, versus it takes years or decades to do that same thing. Yeah, I'm very encouraged, as you can tell today.
No, that's a valid point. I hadn't thought about it like that, but now that you say it, it does accelerate things, because I could say that, I don't know, probably the last at least year, maybe 2 years, Andre and I had done preliminary research, like really digging in, even took a little online course, done all these different things, but things were moving so slow because there was so much unsureness, like we were just unsure. And there was nobody that we could ask a question to or tap in, because we're the first in our family, in our close proximity. And so now that we have this group and this community and this resource, things are moving so much quicker, because now I can ask a question, I can ask you, I can ask somebody in the group. I have so many people that I can reach out to, or I can even just refer to. Oh, I remember we did go over that in the module, or we did go over that in class. And so now things are moving at a much quicker pace.
Totally. And for everybody, right? For everybody in there. And again, I so appreciate you coming on today and just sharing this, because I want other people to hear this. I hope that other people hear your message and it gives them the confidence to start becoming a real estate investor, to do the same thing in their families. But ultimately, you, if I can summarize, you feel more confident about how to finance deals, how to acquire deals, you'll be supported from the group on, even on the construction side, how to price deals, right? So now you can actually go out, and when you see something, Instead of wondering, you can actually decide, is that something that we want to buy or not buy versus should we buy it? It's comes down to your numbers and the facts, not is this a good deal or not?
Absolutely. I would 100% agree with that.
But yeah, I just so thank you. And when you do your deal, I want you to come back, your first deal, get it under contract or close it. I want you to come back on. I want you to tell us about it. Tell us what it is. Tell us your numbers. Share with everybody. Even if you have pictures, we'll be happy to pop up some pictures and talk, because that's what lights us up, is watching people be successful in the real estate investing. If you look through the course of history, back into the medieval times, people that are financially wealthy typically have done that through real estate. There's
Absolutely.
fads come and go. Real estate, it's forever, right?
Yes.
It just doesn't go away. Anything I missed from just your experience or where you're at, or any questions you had? Or
No, such a great weekend. Definitely worth the time. Look forward to other events that we'll do. And I would just, like you said, I just want to just reiterate and just encourage, like, anyone that's thinking about it, go for it. Go for it. The support's there. The resources are there. Be the one to be the change.
oh, I love it. Be the one to be the change, and you'll be a coach for us in the future, right?
Yeah, I'm all over it.
Once you get a couple reps under your belt, because you and Andre both have such positive energy, and you're such advocates for wealth building, that we definitely want you to be part of our coaching team as we grow and bring more people into our world. It's us. We were learning this weekend. The facilitators were learning this weekend. Students are learning this weekend. Weekend. It's a community of people learning from each other. It's not just us telling people what to do and then go do it. No, it's us doing it together. And that, I think, makes all the difference. So thank you. I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Thank you.
Go team Desiree. I'm with you all the way.
Appreciate it.
All right. I'll see you in the group. And thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, definitely post when you get that first deal under contract. And if you have any questions, just reach out and we're there for you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree. Bye.